Hey Sagittarius, welcome to May. This is Michael with your tarot and astrology reading for the month ahead. Before we dive too far into this, I just want to thank all of you who have supported this channel with your likes, shares, comments, and subscribes. I have all of my links in the description box down below if you're looking for a reading or Reiki session with me. I actually have a sale this month for the eclipse. Everything is 15% off through the 16th. So if you want to get a reading or Reiki session with me, snag those while you can. And I do also have a Patreon. Extra special thank you to all of my patrons who support this channel. I offer things like exclusive live streams, weekly energy updates, as well as my astrology notes for these videos. So if any of that sounds interesting, consider checking me out on Patreon as well. Maybe you'll feel called to support the channel in that way too. But any way that you show your support is so appreciated, and I'm so grateful for that. Anyways, Sagittarius, you may know that May is kind of a busy month. We have a Mercury retrograde. This one is actually happening in your opposite sign in Gemini. We also do have an eclipse in Scorpio, which kind of hits you in a pretty sensitive place as well. So there's a lot going on here. I do already have your cards on the table, and the first card that I had for you was the King of Coins, or the King of Pentacles here. And this is a very interesting energy to kind of show up for the past. It feels like you have found a lot of stability. And I feel like this whole year for you, 2022, I kind of talked about this in the year ahead horoscopes, has kind of just been a year for you to catch your breath and for you to get back on your feet. 2021 was pretty destabilizing for you, as was 2020. I mean, let's be real, who wasn't destabilized by that year in some way? But there's been a lot astrologically that was focused on you and kind of left you releasing a lot of things from the past. And this had to do with the South Node being in your sign. And since it's no longer there, it's kind of given you a chance to just come back to life and to integrate things. And I feel like you've been really focused maybe on work or just finding stability. There could be an earth sign in your life as well, Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo, who's providing some level of stability for you. We do also have, we are in Taurus season, I should say. And we did have the Taurus new moon eclipse on the 30th of April. And so there was probably this, probably, with this eclipse that we had, it really was focused on your routines, your health, your wellness, your daily life. That is kind of just grounding to me. It's just been a very grounding energy, and finding rhythms, finding things that work for you, really getting your feet on the ground. And I feel like you actually have been in this energy, or you are in this energy in May. You're very grounded. But I do have the Four of Coins, and maybe you've been playing it really safe in some way, which is kind of interesting. This whole year, it hasn't felt like you've really embodied your Sagittarius energy. You haven't had that spunk. You haven't had that freedom. You haven't had that sort of just go with the flow attitude, or kind of shooting from the hip attitude. It feels like the group I'm connecting with is maybe a little walled off, or maybe a little guarded, or holding back in some way. If there's been money concerns for some of you, I actually don't feel like it's as bad as you think it is. It's almost like you're just holding on to the stability because it's newly found and you're afraid of losing that. Or it's like you're more stable than you realize. That's just something I kind of see with this combination with the King of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles. And this is all really talking about past energy, or energy you are bringing into this month. And so that's kind of interesting. It feels like there's something of a shift here with the Ace of Wands and the Six of Cups. And when I saw this combination, I immediately thought of the expression, an old flame. Someone coming back from the past. I know that's so cliche for these online tarot readings, but it's like, it's Mercury retrograde in your opposite sign. I don't know what to tell you. Like, that could very well happen for some of you. There could be an old relationship, an old partner. There may be some sort of, I don't even necessarily want to say the word reconciliation, especially in a general reading, but there may just be some level of reconnection or reaching out to someone. Or maybe this isn't even a relationship at all. Maybe you are reconnecting with an old passion or just something that made you feel very alive, that was very exciting for you. I'm going to be honest, when I first pulled this Ace of Wands, it actually was in the reverse. And it feels like there's been this lack of passion, but then I needed to flip it up. I knew it was supposed to be upright. And so it's like you're finding this passion again. You're relighting the spark. Maybe it takes a few strikes before the match lights, but there's this exciting thing that's happening. And I also am getting the sense too, kind of random, but might be coming up. I do feel like there are some of you who are connecting with home or family. That actually could be because we have Mars and Jupiter and Neptune in the sign of Pisces. I wonder if there's like a trip home for some of you, or connecting with family in some way as well, connecting with a part of you from the past. And when Mercury is retrograde, that tends to happen. We tend to review things, and it tends to actually be a great time to finish up or tie up loose ends, finish old projects, rather than starting new things. Mercury retrograde can cause some inconveniences in our life. It can kind of slow us down a bit. And in air signs, it can also lead to some misunderstandings or miscommunication. So it's important that we are reevaluating things, reassessing things, and kind of just going slowly. But actually, that's not the advice I get for you, which is really interesting. What's also happening is Jupiter is entering Aries this month. It's actually the same day that Mercury goes retrograde, May 10th. And it's in that eclipse window. And it just feels like whatever happens in an eclipse window in particular is just really like loud and important. And it kind of plays into the eclipse itself. And so with Jupiter entering Aries, your ruling planet, there is just this excitement. And I feel like there actually is a travel opportunity for some of you potentially. Or there... No, it's more of a creative thing, I think. I think there could be something with travel, but that actually feels further down the road. I did have the Eight of Wands, which can be a travel card. We'll get to that. But it's just like you're finding passion. Like Aries represents the part of your chart that's all about passion and excitement. It's romance, it's creativity, it's the things that you enjoy doing. And it feels like there might even be an old hobby or something that you haven't been able to do for quite some time. And Jupiter will be forming a conjunction with Chiron. I'm not even sure if that's going to be happening this year or next year, because Jupiter will retrograde back into Pisces kind of in the later part of this year. And it won't be until 2023 when it really goes through Aries and then goes into Taurus. We're kind of catching a glimpse of the future right now as well this month. And it's like you're kind of reconnecting with something from the past, and it helps you see a future for yourself that you may have lost sight of, or you may have felt like wasn't available to you. Maybe it's totally brand new, but it feels like it's just burying old things or things you forgot about. Like, oh man, I forgot how much I love to do I forgot how much I love to paint, or how much I love to write, or how much I loved this person, and why I felt so drawn to them to begin with. I do actually get some water sign energy here as well. Cancer, Pisces, especially Scorpio with the King of Pentacles, or King of Cups. That came out to me. Could also be Earth sign. So that could be Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo. We can also look at the moon or rising or Venus sometimes too. but it feels like there's just a lot. And if this isn't actually talking about a person, like a specific individual, it's almost like maybe you're finding this passion in a new relationship or in a new person, and you didn't think you'd be able to feel that way again. You didn't think you'd be able to find that spark or that passion or that chemistry. And it feels like something pure or something innocent or something lighter. And we do have the Knight of Coins here as well. Virgo energy again. Could also be Taurus or Capricorn. And this is showing up as a challenge or change. It's like, I think there's this balance you're striking where I feel like maybe the group I'm connecting with, there was something that you were rushing into before, or there was just things that you didn't really think through. And you're now kind of striking this balance where it's like you might be second guessing yourself a lot. Maybe that's something that comes up this month. And it's like needing to strike the balance between kind of being methodical versus being paralyzed. That's kind of what I get, and that is sort of the Virgo energy of this card, I think, too. Don't get perfection paralysis. We do have the Eight of Wands in the future, and this came out with the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. And there is a lot of excitement. There is a lot of forward-moving energy. There's a lot of things that are happening and shifting for you in the future by the end of this month going into June. The thing is, it will require you to get out of your comfort zone a little bit. And that might be because something feels very unfamiliar to you, or it's just brand new to you. It might also be because of financial constraints or financial worries. I did have the Eight of Swords here at the bottom of the deck, and this can often speak of self-imprisoning or self-limiting beliefs or perspectives. And I kind of also get that vibe with the Four of Coins here at times. Like, you know, you're stuck in this tower, you're putting down your hair, waiting for someone to come to you, but it's almost like you're waiting for something else to change when I feel like you're the one who's supposed to be moving forward. I just kind of want to say too, like, maybe this isn't even like the old person from the past reaching out to you. I almost feel like you might be reaching out to them, and it's like just kind of at some point being like, what the hell. That's sort of a vibe I'm getting for some of you. And you might need to be coming from a place that's very emotionally mature or composed before you do this with the King of Cups. But it is sort of like just shooting your shot anyway. You're not so invested at this point. You're not going to lose something that's already lost. It doesn't feel like that. Or that could just be an opportunity. Again, might not be a relationship, might just be a passion. You're like, I'm just going to give this a whirl. I'm going to see what happens. I might as well try it. If I care about doing this thing, if something excites me or gives me a lot of passion or a lot of energy, I might as well just see where it can lead me. And things could actually start moving very quickly all of a sudden. And I think that is kind of happening with the new moon in Gemini at the end of this month on the 30th. And, you know, with this Scorpio energy, with the King of Cups, we do have that lunar eclipse in Scorpio on the 16th. We haven't really talked about that much for you. This is actually lighting up a part of your chart that has to do with your subconscious, with things that are hidden and unseen, because this is the sign that comes right before you. It's the 12th house. And it's like, let me actually clarify this. it's like you're letting go of these self-limiting beliefs and the ways that you hold back or sabotage yourself. And I think, again, you've kind of been in this energy because it's like you don't want to rush into things, you don't want to do things recklessly, you don't want to do things impulsively, and that might have been something that you did in the past, and you felt like you needed to be more guarded, more stable, be more methodical. But it almost feels like the pendulum swung too far in the other direction, and now you're kind of finding this balance, and that's something that you're releasing, and you're kind of coming into this relationship with yourself that's more trusting. And there is something potentially creative there as well, because the 12th house is our dream world. It can be a very creative place. Scorpio energy can be very creative for you. But let's see. Let's see if there's anything else that wants to come out. Interesting. The Queen of Cups with the King of Cups. That could be a pair. Two of Swords. If there's a conversation you haven't been having or you've wanted to reach out, I think it might be talking about this here. Two of Swords. Also not being so affected by your emotions. Like not making places from like an emotionally raw place. And I don't mean that as like don't be vulnerable with people. But sometimes when you're already triggered and you're trying to have an emotional conversation with people, you're just trying to get out of that emotion as quickly as possible, and you're not in the headspace to actually have that conversation in that moment. There might be some balancing with emotions that's going on. We have a lot of really emotional things happening for you astrologically this month. So your emotions might be really up and down. That's just something to kind of keep in mind. But these kind of feel like two people to me, the king and the queen, and it feels even like a pair or a couple. And there's the two of swords, which is kind of not speaking, not communicating, not seeing eye to eye, taking time to assess things. But then something moves very quickly by the end of this month. There's a sudden gear shift. The Lovers. What did I say? I think that is quite literally as we are coming into Gemini season. And that Gemini new moon could actually be bringing someone back from the past. And I know that's super clickbaity. I know that's super cliche and not necessarily the best. Because a lot of people will watch these sort of readings, and if it's not a healthy relationship, don't hold on to that, right? And it might not even be the ex you're thinking of. That's something to kind of consider too. And again, this might not even be someone from the past. It might just be like you have this passion again with someone that you didn't think you would ever have again. It's like a similar spark. It's a similar feeling to something that you had before. And it kind of makes you nervous. But I think you just need to kind of shoot your shot. You need to try it anyway. You just need to see what happens. Maybe again, maybe you need to try again. Maybe this is brand new. Is there anything else here? Ten of Wands. maybe there is some delayed communication between you and another person because there's just a lot going on. So if you're not hearing from someone right away or not hearing back from someone, it might not even be personal. There quite literally could just be external interference between you and someone else, but the love is still there, the connection is still there. And that could just kind of be Mercury retrograde, causing some mayhem, causing some inconveniences. But I feel like there's something that kind of resolves around the end of the month with the new moon in Gemini on the 30th. And I think that is everything, actually. I don't feel like I need to pull any oracle cards for you. Those felt like all the messages. I hope this was helpful for you, Sagittarius. Be sure to hit like and subscribe. If this didn't quite resonate or you'd just like greater clarity on something in your life, you are more than welcome to check out one of the other videos. I suggest looking at your moon or rising sign if you haven't already. And I'll have a playlist in just a moment at the end screen here. All of my links are in the description box down below. If you are looking for any readings or Reiki with me, again, there is a sale through the 16th, so grab those while you can. And I will see you all in the next month. Take care, Sagittarius. Have a happy and safe May.